I can begin by saying, and we can begin by saying how lovely it is to to find ourselves in a smaller community of beings moved into this deeper connection with the freedom of the practice, the love of the practice, and the devotion to practice. It's just lifting that up, because we're manifesting that. And then as we do, how special it is to invite Linda, one of our old friends of the Dhamma and Sangha members, who's both been here at Dhamma Dena and is also has been so involved in the Lotus Sangha, to join us in practice. Linda, we are so happy that you have joined us. Welcome. Welcome in. So I wondered if we could go around just as a kind of formal consecration of our group, saying our names again, pronouns, and one quality of the heart you would like to particularly call in to this self-retreat that we're on together. And is there anyone who would like to begin? And then you can call on the next person.
And hi, I'm Mel. She, they, any pronoun works really. And I would like to call in contentment. And my grandma Phyllis, who passed away last year, who was my model for forgiveness.
Arinna, she and her. I'd like to call in wisdom, illuminated understanding. And I'd like to call on my grandmother Mania, who came to visit my family once a week, and because I was the eldest, took me out for a drive as a special treat to buy me round trees gum pastilles, which were my favorite candy. But I'm not saying that because sweets are so good, but that she made the effort to communicate her caring every week. And I call her into the circle. And then I wanted to call in Ruth Dennison and Uberkin and Mahasi Sayadaw, our lineage holders, to hold us on this retreat, and all those other ancestors that are living inside of us and outside of us that we didn't name because we didn't have the time to name everything that we would like to, perhaps. So calling in the ancestral spirits and energies of the many beings who are known and unknown to us, who support us and inspire us. To awaken, connect with life without distortion in that intimate recognition of the communion of life. So thank you, everyone. And I thought we could take the Refuges and Precepts together again, because they're always such a wonderful acknowledgement and also gateway for us, and also foundation for us, right? And I don't know about other institutions. In synagogue, when they open the cupboard that holds the Torah, then we all stand up, and different people do different things. Sometimes cover our heads, bow, and that's an acknowledgement of the sacred word. And when we take the Refuges, we do bow traditionally. More importantly than the bowing is this acknowledgement that we're entering into the sacred path of remembering that this living body, all of our living bodies, hearts and minds, are structured and geared towards living in the deepest communion and well-being, and contentment, in peace, in the highest happiness, the Buddha called it. And sometimes we forget to remember that, which is why this refuge is so beautiful. And we could frame it in the fulfillment and fruition of that capacity that lives inside of us. And we could name it maybe even more accessibly as any moment where there isn't greed, hatred, and delusion or ignorance. That in that moment there is the fulfillment of this capacity of this being, and how important it is to, in this week that we're doing and deepening into practice, to not only recognize what's present, but to particularly, and I spoke to that a few days ago, to notice some of the truth of our experience in the field of our recognition. And we talked about impermanence and noticing not only the experience, but that the experience is impermanent. And the other particular acknowledgement I want to lift up in taking the refuge is noticing when greed, hatred, and delusion are not strong even, are not dominating the mind. Just notice that. Or notice the moments when they're not present. Because that noticing strengthens that. And it remembers us into the path of all obstacles dissolving, so that there's life just living in that freedom. And so, however you want to then take a moment to take refuge for yourself, whether it's traditionally or not, taking refuge in our capacities to awaken. Taking refuge in our Buddha nature. taking refuge in those moments free of greed, hatred, and delusion. And then we take refuge in the Dhamma, the practice that creates the conditions for this awakening or opening or freedom. We take refuge in the Eightfold Path, the path of practice of right understanding and right intention, or I know right is such a loaded word, liberating understanding and liberating intention, and liberating action, liberating speech, liberating livelihood, liberating effort, liberating mindfulness, liberating concentration. And the practice of faith in the path. The condition of that to inspire our efforts. Taking refuge in living our lives free of these obstacles, the practice of that. Awakening into reality. Taking refuge in our practice. The practice of awakening. And then we take practice in the understanding, the bodhisattva understanding that in some deep way one of us isn't totally liberated without everyone being liberated, that we are interdependent and we rest not only on our own practice but on the practice of others and the support that's there for us and the support that we give to each other. The wisdom that we give to each other and to ourselves, to the world, that we don't practice in isolation but in community and communion, and we can take refuge in this, taking refuge in Sangha, communion and community.
settle in, you know?
Oh, it's totally fine, honey.
So we'll move into taking the precepts, the ethical trainings that the Buddha taught as really the foundation of our practice. Like our meditation practice, the foundation is living ethically, non-harming, not having our actions of body, speech, and mind causing agitation that prevents the clear seeing and development of wisdom. And so, yeah, here we are preparing the soil for practice by undertaking these trainings together. One more thing I'd like to say about these precepts is they're trainings, and it's not like a 10 Commandments, like if you break this, you are an evil sinner, feel guilt and shame, but rather an invitation to reflect on the actions when we have, say, engaged in killing. Like I used to kill moths, and how awful that felt, and how now where I am, I understand the harm that was causing, and I wish for those beings to be free. And this is a practice the Buddha called wise remorse. It's not guilt or shame, but understanding with wisdom how our actions cause more suffering or more freedom, and or orienting towards more freedom. So, here we go. Knowing how deeply our lives intertwine, I undertake the training to respect and protect life. Knowing how deeply our lives intertwine, I undertake the training to only take that which is given. Knowing how deeply our lives intertwine, I undertake the training to refrain from harming through sexuality. Knowing how deeply our lives intertwine, I undertake the training to speak the truth with kindness. Knowing how deeply our lives intertwine, I undertake the training to refrain from intoxicants that promote delusion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mel. So we've set our Dharma flotilla afloat together on board. And then I wanted to offer a reminder that we are meeting as a community, and this space, I wonder what the right word is. Not electronic. Like, what is it? Waves? Something waves? Whatever. Like this space of waves is open from our morning through till the evening after the Dhamma talk every day. So you can come in and practice in front of the altar whenever you want. And that there's a community sit at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. every day, as well as this 9:15 sit with introductions to and support of the practice, and a Dhamma talk or group inquiry every evening at 6:30. Great. And do you want to introduce yourself a little bit, because Linda doesn't know who you are? So Mel has been part of these queer retreats since almost their beginning, and then spent the last 2 years in Myanmar practicing, and has been a support for the BIPOC Sangha, and has been also in this time that she's been here supporting the functioning of the center as well. So Mel is here to offer that history, her love of of the Dhamma and her practice to us in her beautiful and unique way. So usually we end at 10, but this is our beginning, and I'm wondering, should we just take 15 minutes to sit together in silence as of us sitting together, and then we'll have follow instructions tomorrow, because we're all old yogis already. So let's just take 15 minutes and sit together, and if for some reason you need to leave, then that's fine too. Okay, I'm going to put this up here. The mind might have wandered off, no problem. Appreciating the recognition. Taking a moment to comprehend and appreciate our sharing. Our intentions. Those energies that we called in. The taking of the refuges. Discerning the wholesomeness of this entering in together. We dedicate our practice to the liberation and well-being of ourselves, of each other, and of all beings everywhere, all life. Thank you, everyone. See you later.